Hi, everyone, and welcome to this session where we're going to talk about GitLab Duo self-hosted, and in particular, how you can use GitLab Duo either on-premise in an offline environment or within a secure cloud of choice. And here we're going to talk about using AWS services like AWS Bedrock. My name is Chloé Cartron. I'm a solutions architect at GitLab, and I'm here with Olivier.
I'm also a solution architect here at GitLab, and you can find us on LinkedIn with the two names that you can see here. Before we start, I would like to ask you two questions, actually. I would like to ask you, do you believe there is one model that rules them all? Do you really think that there is one model that could cover every single business case for all companies, covering all needs? Or do you think there is no silver bullet and maybe it's smart to have several models just to match your needs, your exact needs and what you are doing? And the second question I would like to ask you is, are you ready to go all in and get rid of all privacy, all sovereignty concerns? Are you really willing to say no to a controlled environment and say, go blindly actually, and say, okay, happens what happens? If you don't think there is one model to cover all your needs, if you're not ready to go all in, then maybe you're at the right place. Chloé, tell them.
Yes, so these questions are actually very important. These are questions that keep us at GitLab very busy. We know that today asking the questions, do you think you need to use AI technologies, is no longer a question. Everyone wants and needs to use these technologies in order to stay ahead of the curve and provide these technologies to employees within the organizations. But the question is how to use them in the right way. The first challenge is how to maintain privacy and control. So how do we make sure that the data that are provided to those models, sensitive data about intellectual property, are going to be remaining within a secure and controlled perimeter? Once we are sure that the perimeter is secure, we need to understand which model we should use for the right use case. As Olivier said, there is not a single model that can cover every single use cases. At least that's not the case right now. And there are also new models emerging and coming up, or new versions coming up frequently. It's a market that evolves very quickly. So we need to be able to also stay up to date with the models that we use. So how do we choose the right model for the right use case? We need to have flexibility and be able to use combinations of different models. And lastly, we need to make sure that the models we will choose comply to certain rules and respect requirements in terms of compliance. And all of these challenges, we are addressing them at GitLab with GitLab Duo self-hosted. So GitLab Duo, this is the name of the umbrella for all of the artificial intelligence solutions at GitLab, which is now available self-hosted. So that means you can use models within your own environments that you control with a self-hosted GitLab instance and connect those models to your instance to leverage all of the AI functionalities within GitLab in this secure environment. This environment can be completely self-hosted, completely offline and air-gapped in your data center, or it can be in a secure cloud of choice. For example, we're going to give a bit more details into how to set it up in AWS. So making sure that the data remain within a network that is controlled by you. For example, if you have constraints where the data should remain in a certain territory, we are Europeans, so we want the data often to stay within Europe. How can you do this with the self-hosted infrastructure on-premise or in a cloud of choice? How to do this exactly? First of all, you need a self-hosted GitLab instance. So at GitLab, we've provided this self-hosted capability since the beginning, and we keep on matching parity between the self-hosted version and the SaaS version. So you can already use GitLab in a self-hosted environment. You will also need the AI gateway, which is a service that you install standalone and that will allow the communication between the GitLab instance and your models. And you need, of course, LLM infrastructure, which is composed of a model backend, which can be VLLM, or, for example, AWS Bedrock, if you want to use the AWS services. And then you need the models itself. So we support a wide range of model families for different, which will have different performances depending on different use cases. So we give you flexibilities here to choose the right model for your use case. And we support models from GPT, Claude 3, Mistral families, and much more. Over to you, Olivier, to show us in action how to set that up.
Let's do that. Thank you. Thank you very much, Chloe. Let me show you here GitLab. So I'm here in the admin area of GitLab, and let's go to the GitLab Duo section. Okay, here on GitLab Duo, I have a button to change the configuration, and there is a single configuration to use the AI gateway. I just need to input the URL. Here I've got a very simple one, which is hosted locally on my EC2 instance where GitLab is running. This is a Docker image that I've started, so very, very basic, very simple. And I just need to input that in my GitLab configuration to start using this, this AI gateway. And once I've input this URL, I can check with GitLab if everything seems to be working, at least if the communication and the network is okay. So if I run the else check here, I can see that I've got the URL, which is accessible and so on and so forth. All right, all good so far. And then I can go to the next step and setting up the GitLab Duo self-hosted. So here there are two tabs. One is defining the models themselves, and then where you want to use this model, on which features. So let's start with setting up the model. I have pre-set up 3 models for you: Mistral 8x7b, Mistral 7b, and Cloud. And the behavior and the way to set up them is exactly the same. Let's see how this works. Okay, I have a name. Okay, I've got a platform. It can be either Bedrock, for our example, or an API or the LLM. Okay, very basic. And then I've got a model family. Chloe said it. We have many families, so you can choose the one that best fits your needs. And then finally, you just need to input the model identifier or the API endpoint and the API key if you are using VLLM. And once you have set up all of this, well, all of these 4 little things, you can test the connection to ensure that you are able to connect from GitLab through the AI gateway to your model hosting. So here, AWS Bedrock. Okay, so actually, when I hit this test connection, I have set up and checked the configuration from this self-hosted model, this self-hosted instance, to the self-hosted AI gateway, to the self-hosted model. Okay, so all of this is perfectly set up. And now, what do I want to do? I want to continue and set up the features to use the model that we have just configured. So I'm going to this new tab here. And here I can select for every single feature the model that I want to use. So I've selected in the list that I've already set up, Mistral 8x for, say, everything code solution related. And then for the Duo chat, I've selected, well, Cloud for some of them, the general chat and explain code. And then Mistral 8x again, and Cloud, and Mistral 7b. Well, you can, of course, use whatever you want. Okay, that's nice. It was just a very short setup, very efficient and quick to do. Now, let's see if that works. Let's do it with 2 things. First, let's see our logs from the Docker AI gateway. So here is my my logs. Okay, and let's see what's happening if I'm doing something like I don't know, maybe GitLab Duo explain selected snippet. So this will trigger an action in my Duo chat, and I can see something happening in my AI gateway. Okay, so I know that everything coming from my laptop, here my IDE is going through my AI gateway, and I can see what has been requested, the API that has been requested, and so on and so forth. Okay, that's nice. So I know I'm using my AI gateway, no problem. Now let's see if I'm using my model that I've set up here in AWS Bedrock. So let's switch back to my browser and go to CloudWatch, which is my monitoring system. Okay, let's go to my log groups. All right, and normally I've got logs here. Okay, maybe I can make it a bit wider, filter on something. Okay, I can see my latest action less than 1 minute ago. And what did I do? Well, I called the model in Europe, so I'm within my constraints. Okay, it was Claude 3 Sonnet. This is what we have set up to use Claude 3 for code suggestions. So that's pretty cool. And then I can see everything else regarding my prompt and so on and so forth. Maybe you can do something else, another test. Let's do it to see if the setup that I've done is working efficiently. So I've done here a code completion, okay? And let's see if I've got something here. Maybe I will need to refresh my logs. Okay, yeah, I've got a new model invocation. Let's see what happened. It's code completion, so there are many calls. That's pretty normal. But I'm using the Mixtral 8x7b as I've set up it. So yeah, that seems pretty perfect. It's using my own model because these logs are designed for my own model. Obviously, this is my log group dedicated to my own model. So yeah, I'm using only things that I own and that I host. So that's pretty cool. It respects all my constraints. Good. And maybe it's time for you, Chloe, to conclude this session.
Thanks a lot, Olivier, for this live demo. So here you've been able to see in action a couple of use cases of using the AI features within GitLab. We were able to use Duo for explaining some code and for helping us write code using our self-hosted models. Actually, GitLab provides a variety of use cases to leverage AI to accelerate workflows. GitLab is a DevSecOps platform that allows you to manage your entire software development lifecycle from designing a feature all the way to releasing it in production. And we've used AI here to automate those use cases to accelerate the value creation. And so if you're interested to see how GitLab Duo can help you with variety of use cases, be it writing issues and epics, doing code reviews, explaining codes, generating tests, explaining and resolving vulnerabilities faster, and even debugging pipelines and so on. Please reach out to us. We'll be happy to dive a bit deeper in another session into how you can leverage AI into all of these use cases. And today we've shown you one integration between GitLab and Amazon, but we're also releasing our new solution, GitLab Duo with Amazon Q, which allows you to leverage GitLab Duo and Amazon solutions for AI agents to create new functionalities, to upgrade applications, and much more, automating all of these workflows with AI agents. And with that, thank you very much.
All done. Thank you very much. See you soon. Bye.